Hi guys, welcome to this new lecture and to this new section, of course. In this lecture, we are going to focus on animating the pen tool, that is creating a path and animating the path. This is extremely important, not only in After Effects, in many other software you will see path and you animate this path. Cool, let's understand what's a path and let's see how we can animate it. We'll take the pen tool. I will click and drag. Notice I have the Bezier handles. That is pretty practical, right? Now I click somewhere else, for example, over here. I'll also drag. Now I have a kind of a stroke or a line, if you like. I prefer to call it a stroke, that you can move around the way you want using the handles. Not only that, you can also manipulate this stroke and give it a different shape. Now, if you notice, this stroke has two nodes. These nodes are called vertexes or vertex. And the first one, if you notice, has a double square here. This is the first vertex, and the other one is just a vertex. And we can move these around and also keyframe them. Now, I'll select the shape layer like you've seen. I will open the shape layer, open contents, and open shape 1. Unfortunately, we always have to go that deep. I will go to the stroke first to just make it look like a small worm, and we have some fun. I will come to dashes and add some dashes. Cool. I will go from butt cap to round cap. That's better. Increment the dashes. So I have a worm. It looks like a sausage line, but it's okay. It's fun. Cool, guys. Something. Let's make it bigger. Okay, let's do it 15. I think 15 will do. Yeah, something like this. I will zoom in now. And I want to show you the path itself. Now notice, this is the shape. You see it has dashes, each one of them looking like sausages. But there is this blue line here, the light blue line, light colored blue line. The light colored blue line is the path, and the whole thing is the shape with its dashes and whatever. The light blue line is the one we are going to animate. We are not going to animate the whole shape. And it will apply for circles and rectangles and stories like this and many other shapes that you bring from Illustrator. It is this line that is blue and light colored in our case here because our layer is light blue. I could have changed this and it would be gray or something like this. But in our case here, it is light blue and this is what we are going to animate. And it has two vertexes. By moving the vertexes around and playing with the Bezier handles, we get other kind of shapes and then we can keyframe them. Let's take an example. It's much better than talking. Cool. I will select my selection tool by pressing V. I will select the shape layer. Now notice I am in the shape layer. This is not what I want to animate. I want to animate the path. The path is under path 1. That is shape 1, path 1. Notice is not rectangle path 1 or something. It is just path 1. And I have a stopwatch here. I can animate. I'll click on the stopwatch. Now to animate the path, you really need to animate the two vertexes or one of the vertexes. I will select the path like this and then press shift and click on the path. Immediately the vertexes will change from filled to just unfilled or just squares without any fill. And you notice the first vertex here, I'm insisting on it, it has a double square. So I will move down the timeline, let's say half a second, and take the head and put it up. Cool. Notice what's happening. So the line now or the stroke is gonna move up. Now I cannot define how it's gonna move, like is it gonna move this way or the other way or move there. It just moves as much appropriate as After Effects decides that this is a good path. Now let's say in case you just select the path here and you move it like this. You notice that you are moving the whole shape 1. Not the layer. You notice there is no anchor point in the layer. I'm moving here the shape 1 because I have selected both vertexes. Cool, guys. So you always have to press shift and click to get each vertex. I will delete this keyframe and then notice our animation. The first node will move up. Cool. Let's come to 1 second and take the tail. Now I need to select the tail. I will select the path, press shift and press on the line and bring the tail up. You see, I could grab it and bring it up. Of course, now you can play with the handles the way you want. Okay, so it does like this. And let's put his head down. So notice you select the node or the vertex and you play with the handles, or you can just play with the handles the way you want. Cool. Now we have a keyframe. If you come here after and you select your path and you move, notice a keyframe has been created, but actually I'm moving the whole path, meaning the both vertices chosen. Notice what's happening here, and then both of them will really move. Okay, so I will delete this one. This is not what we want. I'm showing you examples how things can go wrong, so you make sure it's right. So I choose the path here, then I want the tail to come down, so I'll shift click on the line, here I am, and then the tail will come over here, and let's make it like pointing downward, something like this. Then we move to 2 seconds and we get the head coming down. Cool, guys. And of course you can choose to arrange it, the handles. Then after half a second again, now the head goes up, and then after 3 seconds the tail goes up. Okay, I have a jumping worm here, that's so interesting. And then after a half second the head goes down again, and then after half a second, or at 4 seconds, the tail will come in, and then after that the head, let's take it out here, and then at 5 seconds or something like this, just take the tail out. Let's adjust this keyframe to be in the middle, but it really doesn't matter. Let's run our animation. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Now this is pretty cool. What's very interesting here that we animated the vertexes, meaning the nodes. We just moved the nodes around, and After Effects interpolated or discovered all the motion that is required. I didn't have to specify how it's gonna move. It just did it by itself. You know, when you move a square, we know the square is gonna move, okay? But when it's a line, the line can move in a million ways. Now you can come over here and of course add more nodes. For example, I will take the pen tool, click over here, added another one, and just move it over here. When I come to the next keyframe, the node is still there. It's not gone. If you go back, so if you add another node on another vertex, it's added for all your path, whatever is the keyframe. And then you can also animate it like all the others. Here I added another one, and you can make it like this, whatever you like. So the animation now is like, oh, wow. Okay, here you are. And it comes out. This is animating the path, and this is using the pen tool. The application for here, you can get a whole character, a guy, a girl moving around using this path, and we are going to do that. Thanks very much for listening. I will see you in the next lecture with more about path animation.